Got it. No problem.
Okay. Yeah. So can you give me again the scope of the partners that you have signed up right now? You said you have 4 vendors
So,
working with
so
LA
the
County.
city, we have 4 contracted agencies that work with us. We have an organization in the Northeast called PLN para los Niños. They work with our East Los Angeles and LA City campus. We have another agency in the South Central area, CRCD. They work with trade and West LA College. We have an agency in the Harbor, San Pedro area, AYE. They work with Harbor and Southwest College. And then we have an organization called El Proyecto. They work with our Valley colleges. So they have 3 campuses. They work with Valley, Mission, and Pierce College. So those are the 9 LACCD campuses that the city is partnered with to do this work. Depending where the students come from, you'd be assigned to work with one of those agencies. The agencies will work directly with you in identifying candidates for you to interview. And once the intern is selected by your organization, they do all of the onboarding on their end. So you are the supervisor of record, but the subsidy or the stipend that the intern receives comes from the contracting partner. So they are under their payroll. And we call them career coaches that work with each agency that report to me. They will coordinate with you the submission of timesheets, the evaluation of work, right? We want to make sure that the goals that you set for them are met, and vice versa. And then it's that 120 hours. And one of the things that we do is we keep academics at the forefront. So we do ask our employer partners to work with our interns so that it aligns with their school or their academic schedule, right? I think the fact that you're starting off in a virtual environment is pretty good because it creates that level of flexibility for the student. That if it's if they're taking even though classes are limited to in-person, if they're taking an in-person class, they don't necessarily have to leave the campus to log in and report to work, right? They can stay on campus and do their work from campus. So it minimizes the travel and the time. And then and on average, they can work anywhere from 15 to 25 hours, right? Depending on, again, their schedule and the need that you have for them. And if it works out after this first session, this could become a rotating partnership, right? Where you can continuously provide that exploration career opportunity to interns that want to go into, the digital mediums that you're providing in technology, support what it is that you're doing within the foundation and within your industry. And it could be a significant value add for you and your organization, while at the same time being a very significant value add for the student that's getting that experience.
Okay, great. Can you expound a little bit about your expectations for the academics? I mean, vis-a-vis community college students, their expectations are to get an AA degree, but are they looking to get to the 4-year Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts?
Also? It varies. It varies from student to student. Some students, you may have a student that, as an example, is interested in becoming going into law enforcement, but they're just tech savvy, right? And they've indicated in their profile to us that they enjoy technology. They'd like to have an internship that's virtual in nature, right? So the majors and the majors that our students have are significantly different. They vary, and some are coming in for the trade. Some are coming in to just receive, to get a certificate to get to work. So that'll vary from student to student.
Okay. And what are the age groups of the people that are in your program? Obviously, if they're 18, they're
18 to 24.
18 to 24. So
yeah.
Are they also eligible for the pool of dollars that Makita has for the people who aren't in community college? Or so is that the
no?
Same?
So that would be a different program. So with my program, the interns that we would be able to provide you with are specifically from the LA College Promise pool of students that we have. Right. Okay. The city has multiple funding sources and multiple programs. Right. So there are other opportunities to partner with the city. If it's with the adult system, if you're looking to work with, to not have age be a limitation, through Makita and the EWDD, which is my former employer, by the way. I worked there for 22 years. You can work with the adult system. So the adult system would provide you with a pool of, in some cases, experienced workers that are looking to advance their skill sets, and have some experience in the industry that you are in, that you can provide that level of work experience for internship or pre-apprenticeship in some cases.
Right. So these people are subsidized very similar to Makita's program, 18 to 24, 120 hours. Is it broken down 20 of onboarding and 100 of work, 100 hours of work, or is it kind of?
That's primarily how the agencies have selected to break it down, because one of the things that they've worked on doing is making sure that as we're identifying a candidate for you, and if you're looking forward to selecting them, right, and prepping them to get to that point, they do the resume, right? They do the assessments, right? Identify to the points that you made earlier, right? Where is the student as it relates to, do they have an up-to-date CV? If they don't have a CV, work with them within those 20 hours to prepare a CV. Get them interview ready, right? We want to make sure that when they come to you, they come with a skill set of being able to be presentable and to be able to answer the questions that you may have of them thoroughly. And there are some additional prereqs that, based on the funding guidelines, students have to do. So what the city's done is, from that 120, they've to increase retention, they've incorporated those 20 hours as part of the of that phase that I just described to you. And then it would be about 100 hours of internship that they get with you. Now, it could vary, right? We could come across a student that's ready, that doesn't need those additional 20 hours, that you actually get more hours of an intern.
Okay, great. Yeah, and so I have a 501c3, but I also have a for-profit business that I believe has a vendor relationship with the LA Community College system. So I'm a vendor already. I've been paid to do this work. It was under something called LA High Tech. There's an LA High Tech grant that I was working with LA Valley. I worked with Pierce. I worked with West Valley, LA Pierce, LA Mission. Yeah, those are the three that I worked with. So would this potential work, would I need to sign up as a vendor with your program?
No, you submitted the interest form. The one thing that we would do is, if we move forward, if you choose to move forward with us in a partnership, we'll get out to you. What I need first and foremost is, now that we've had this discussion, is if you can provide me with an overview, right? I think that in the interest form you indicated 5 to 10 students. Is that still the interest that you have?
Well,
how many?
Yeah, and let me preface that by saying, Makita asked me how many people could I onboard, and because I have a program that is virtual, it's a phased program to really get people skilled up. It's called the Digital Pathway Initiative. There is no limitation to how many people could I get to the certification level. So as long as people, as long as people can log on, they can get to the certification level. I can also give them a level of work just doing things like data entry, doing things like social media management, where those skills that I'm looking for, they would be able to do as much work as I can match them with people in our network, as well as project work that I have. And so the 5 to 10 was just kind of a proof of principle. So I could take on more than 5 to 10 people based on work that I have now. I just wanted to start, kind of the crawl, walk, run.
Yeah. So, and I appreciate that. So what we can do, why don't we aim to start with 5, right? So that we can kind of do that crawl to walk, right? Make sure that the foundation in the partnership is where you want it to be and where we need it to be. And if you see that it's working and we see that it's working, then you could say, you know what, Ozzie, we can take on 10 more, 15 more. And believe me, there's more than enough students that need this opportunity right now.
I can
Than
imagine.
there are employers.
Yeah,
So,
and let me ask you, if I took on let's say an equal number of three
mhm.
young men and young women, do you have enough young women in the program for the digital media as well as ICT tech area? Because um, we're underrepresented in women, young women.
Equity. Mhm. We can
So
work to
do you have,
identify, yeah, we can work to identify young women and students that are interested in digital media. So we'll work with our 4 agencies in our 9 campuses to identify that. Again, the beauty of this opportunity is that it's a virtual placement. So the proximity doesn't factor in. So, right, so we can
right,
identify somebody from Harbor or from the Valley, right, 50 miles apart, but they could be, just as active and engaged because they're able to work from home or from school,
right.
wherever they choose.
Right. So the scope of work that I can envision would allow them to integrate all of the digital um, virtual work, but they would be collaborating with a group of people who are going to be meeting. As COVID protocols relax, they would be collaborating and working with people who would be doing physical work. And some of these people are not necessarily digital media career pathway driven. There are people working in business, they're working in project management, they're working in various areas of multidisciplinary study, but marry well with a project, getting a project from conception to completion, on task, on time, on budget, on platform. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm actually taking a group of students, and I'm looking in May to have some of them meet up at least every other week in LA, downtown Los Angeles. I have a venue. It's the City Club in LA. I have been fortunate to get a subsidy from the City Club of Los Angeles to use their facilities. We did an event February 28th there. And I plan on doing at least one event that I can have students plan and execute to showcase their capabilities to other students. So literally, we're trying to produce a student-generated newsletter that has a video capabilities to stream and send out to the workforce interested as well as workforce ready.
Mhm.
And all of these things do have a scope and workforce narrative around diversity and inclusion. So things that we do with this thing's called brown bag television.
Okay.
So when I send this to you, we're hoping at once a month, we're going to execute a program out of the City Club in Los Angeles, where these students who were doing pre-production and preparation will meet some of these students that will actually be producing the in-studio physical production at the
Gotcha.
City Club. So all of this is written out.
Okay.
And I truly want to make sure that I take the 5 or the 6 that you give me and quickly be able to find a way to challenge them to perform at a level that gives you some understanding of what can be imagined with these people.
Fantastic.
Not
Okay.
only getting them ready to work for me, but for someone else that
Yeah.
you guys may have in your network.
Fantastic. So the very next thing that I would need from you is the scope of work, right? And the 6 that we'd be identifying for you, what's the scope of work, right? So if you already have a job description, or if you'd like for us to work in putting a job description with you, we can do that. But if you get that into me, that would be fantastic. And then in terms of a target date, right? Today's Friday, March 11th. Are you planning? Would you like to have the students onboarded and beginning on their projects? First week of April.
I would like to share this this conversation with some of my board members.
Okay.
And let's say midweek, I'll get back to you with a job description
Okay.
and what I think we could do from a virtual onboarding. And again, it starts with an application
Yeah.
so that we can find out who we have. And we're
Gotcha.
looking for 6 people, three young men and 3 young women. And obviously, I'd like to have them all looking for interest in digital media technology, kind of a hybrid look at where tech and creative meet, even if they don't think of themselves as creative. Obviously, everybody that is exposed to left and right brained opportunities can grow. And so we just want to let everybody have exposure to what we think are growth opportunities. And not
Yeah.
only in Hollywood, but just here in LA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right.
Perfect.
So Ozzie, I will send you an email with everything that I believe will have us take a look at something for Wednesday at the latest,
Okay.
and maybe sooner.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Good talking
Thank
to
you
you.
very much, Ozzie.
Take
All
care.
right.
Good meeting you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.